All right, everyone, we are back from the break. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that run of Parasite Christmas Eve. It's definitely a nice time right before the holidays, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, running speedruns from the Crypt for years, I've kind of enjoyed, because I think this is the third time I've done Parasite Eve for Christmas. What can I say? It's a fun holiday time, and I like to get festive around here. Anyway, this year, making a return is another favorite game of mine, but a different category. There's a few Christmas games out there, and one that is definitely a bit underappreciated, but it's become a bit of a personal, I guess, favorite of mine. I do enjoy it. I know a lot of the runners put in a lot of work in recent times. Is weirdly enough Dead Rising 4. It's definitely a bit of the black sheep of the Dead Rising series, but it's a Christmas game. But further going into that, we're going to be diving into a very unique category in something that you might not know exists. Anyway, going into that, we're going to be going to Dead Rising 4 with a category called Frank Rising, which we'll learn more about that, featuring a Street Bag Guy. So take it away.
Oh, thank you very much, Ecdycis. Hi everyone, I'm Street Bag Guy, and commentating along with me today is my good buddy and fellow Dead Rising speedrunner, Texan Red Wolf. Say hello, Tex.
Hi. Hello.
And today we're going to be doing the good ending for Frank Rising. What's different about this DLC compared to the main game? It's way more fun, at least in my opinion. But the main game's alright, we can just say that. You might notice that we are going to be running in French, and that is because it has been confirmed to be faster. Many thanks to Ek for mainly theorizing it, and then me and Zanga for just confirming that. And we shall get started in about a few seconds. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing we're going to do is we are just going to... Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler alert, Frank is dead. Don't worry about it. If you play the main game, you know what's going on. If you didn't play the main game, it's not too important. I don't consider it canon, even though it is, but we don't talk about that. We're just going to avoid...
They should have just ended it.
Oh yeah, they should have just ended it at the end, but that's fine. We're just going to kill these two here. It says to kill all the humans in French, but we don't have to kill any of the other humans apart from these two. We can just ignore them. And here I'm just going to spam dash a little just because, well, it gets you a little bit further and it just clears this little crowd of zombies a bit easier.
So, talking about some of the way this game works so far, we have a lot to cover over the main game and just the game in general. For one, we're going to be able to sprint and do a lot of our movement because this is one of those weird cases where New Game Plus is just really much better, and like I don't think there's a way to actively refresh your new game, so it's just better to do this anyway. Mainly because you get infinite stamina, meaning you get a run. You don't get like massively beefed up, you just kind of get a lot of quality of life things, like you don't die immediately and you get stamina, which is nice. As well, you may have noticed, yes, Frank West is a zombie. He's going to have the ability to jump really far, spit goo, and yell really loud.
Frank, please target the humans. Thank you.
Yeah, managing being able to hit all the enemies that you want in a consistent manner is a bit finicky because of the camera angles.
Oh, for sure. Also, out of all 3 of the cutscenes that are associated with this DLC, this is the only one you can't skip. So we are going to be here for about 20 seconds, maybe.
Well, you need plot, man. You got to be able to know that shenanigans are happening.
Of course. Also, that's Hammond. You meet her during the main game. She has a little bit more relevance here, I find, but then again, I can't remember the main game that much because it's not great.
It's a fun
How'd she lose her eye?
All right, so fun things and all this, I can break it down for you. She loses her eye, I think, with the situation with Tom on Tom's farm. But Dead Rising 4 had an issue because when they made the ending, they introduced the whole cast of people, right? It's like, oh, here's all the survivors you're going to work to save. And then, like, they abandoned all of them in the mall. Hey, things didn't get firebombed, but you know what? Yeah, the only people who are leaving are, like, 2 of the main characters. Any other supplementary characters you meet? Oh, no, they're going to die. So this DLC was made to try to give more of the side characters you meet a chance. Like, oh hey, remember Hammond? Yes, you can actually escape. These people can actually live, which makes sense in a Dead Rising game.
What was going on with the game there for a moment? It was being all glitchy and weird. Did you do movement?
Oh, I did. Yes. Basically, during that little black loading screen, you can spam the dash button to move while Frank is not on the ground, and it doesn't do anything. I just think it's funny, so I just wanted to show that off. And yeah, now here Blackburn's just gonna give us a little bit of exposition, so we just gotta wait here for a few seconds.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. You go ahead.
I was gonna say that for this DLC, the timer is back, so you're gonna only have an hour and a half to beat the whole thing. It's actually one of the cooler parts. And the difference between the good ending and the bad ending is the bad ending is like the quintessential any percent. You're just able to beat the game. You don't have to do any of the side stuff. Good ending is the actual, I guess the canon part of this, in theory, I guess. But you're able to actually do all the side missions, which are going to be these various challenges. And it's more interesting as a category just because you don't have any forced waiting.
Plus, it's relatively shorter than the main game too, which is always a nice plus. So you can just go in for multiple, like every hour or so if you want, if it doesn't pan out well.
Yeah, it's like an hour and what, 10? No, it's about an hour shorter than story mode.
Yeah, roughly that. Good ending, it's about, on average, 12 to 13 minutes longer than the bad ending, where we don't get any of the optional Princess Wasps, which give us our abilities in this DLC. And we are going to be getting our first wasp pretty shortly here. Also, I'm going to run through this crowd, and hopefully none of the fresh zombies follow me through the Kichiro Plaza shutter. Because that means extra zombies I have to kill right here. And looks like none of them followed me in, which is quite nice.
Oh, there's a likelihood of them following you in? I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you're unlucky, they'll follow you right through the shutter just as the animation's playing, so it's not great. It's just like an extra body you have to kill. But there is a fun little trick coming up here after this next cutscene. Here we'll be introduced to our first skill, Lunge, which we got from pillaging Calder's body. Calder being the big bad of the main story. His body's still here, don't worry about it. And we're just going to jump on this guy. Lovely. Jump and then hold square or X, whatever your controller is. And I'm actually wondering... No, we didn't get it. So, for some stupid reason, some of these soldiers that come out from behind the shutter, if they get caught underneath the shutter while it's doing its closing animation, they can just despawn. And it's both funny, and it also means there's one less person to kill. And also we're going to save our combo move just for the shield guy for convenience, because... Frank, please.
Yeah, the shield dudes, I was doing bad ending earlier today and was like, didn't use the combo move incorrectly, and having to deal with shield dudes without the zombie bite is very frustrating.
Yes, so there are a few times we'll come up against shield enemies in this DLC. We will mainly be dealing with them with the bite or the combo skill, whatever you want to call it. And coming up here, this is technically a mandatory wasp, but it's also a princess wasp, just like the previous one. So what we're going to do here, hold forward and spam dash to confuse the AI. And now they're not aggro when they run up. Big thanks to Zanga, by the way, who helped root this category and bad ending. He's done a madness, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, being able to time your bites correctly too is super helpful.
Oh, for sure.
When it comes to big waves or like multiple human enemies.
You also might notice I'm dashing up and down stairs where possible, and that is because it is faster than just running up them. You can also jump up the stairs, as that is a little bit faster than running up them, but if you have the stamina, then dash is much preferred. Oh, I accidentally run into the wall there because I'm a pro speedrunner.
So this is the moment where the route's going to start deviating a little bit. We do have the main mission, but we're also going to be getting the side missions. So the main mission is going to be kind of like a supply gathering thing. Like, think of traditional Dead Rising overtime. If you're familiar with the series, you know the general idea is, oh, hey, it's overtime. You have to get a lot of supplies or things are going to go bad. This is going to be kind of the similar beat of overtime. And for this as well, what's going to spawn is these quote-unquote Princess Wasp missions. In terms of the route, at some point we're going to find a way to squeeze these in here, but we're essentially managing the gathering missions, but also the Princess Wasp missions.
Yeah, we're going to start getting those Wasp missions that have spawned in. Not too long after this part. After we get to Big Bug's hardware, that's the main part. Also, these are feral soldier zombies, because I love Obscurus, and they are a pain in this DLC. But it's fine as long as you can just run by them, but if you're not careful...
My favorite part.
Yeah, if you're not careful, they will drain your health very badly. So now we're going to get a Princess Wasp that gives us the spit ability. And we are just going to vomit up onto the soldier, because there is a little bit of a waiting period before we can pick up the last item we need here, called solenoids. Okay, that should be enough time. Please stop hitting me. Thank you. And now we can pick it up. Okay, and now this is the part where we deviate from bad ending and we start getting the Princess Wasps. Starting with this one that is right next to us.
Is there enough time to get all the Princess Wasps that you need while you're waiting for Blackburn to tell you about the next item?
There's not enough time for all of them, but there is enough time to get the majority of them in this area.
I actually was wondering if the route changed at one point to avoid the one on the left immediately.
Yeah, I just do that because we can get it later anyway, and it doesn't make sense in a way to delay it where you can just get most of them done while you're in this little waiting section anyway.
Makes sense. Also, yes, it is actually Princess Wasp. The game calls it that because Frank says it out loud. I don't think that's the scientific name, but it's the canon name because Frank says it.
So
yeah, Blackburn tells you what the scientific name is, and then he makes the joke that, oh, well, if they're the younger version of the queens, that makes them a Princess Wasp.
So there's a little variation on the Princess Wasp tasks. There's only like a few of them, but it'll mostly be either kill an Obscurus soldier, gather the Princess Wasp pheromones, or survive, or get a combo. This one we just had to defeat an Obscurus soldier, which wasn't too bad, luckily. And now we can just ignore these other soldiers. We don't really have to worry about them anymore. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to go through, go over here, and I'm just going to start over in this side of town. Just because these wasps are kind of out of the way, so I kind of want to get them dealt with ASAP. And that way we don't have to go out of our way to come back and get them.
So, as you get all these Princess Wasps, what abilities are being boosted? Because I know for one of them it's an improved dash, and do any of them improve your health?
Yes, you'll get mainly health regeneration improvements for tasks like this, the survive task. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what defeating the Obscurus soldier gives. I think it might be also that zombie right there with the Rudolph nose. That's an Evo zombie. They're also pains. Don't worry about them. We'll come back to them later.
Also, this question gets asked a lot. Yes, that's the game. The elf zombies are a part of the game. It's a DLC. This is not a mod. This is the actual game.
Yeah, it's almost Christmas, so you know. Why not get in the Christmas spirit?
I appreciate you putting them on, by the way.
Oh, that's not a problem. It was either this or the Valentine skins. And you know, thematically appropriate. Okay.
Does that make this game a Valentine's Day game as well?
Yes.
If it's got that skin.
It could be whatever you want it to be, Tex. Okay, so now, please get out of my way, zombies. Thank you. Please and thank you. Navigating through the zombie crowd is a pain, but one upgrade we'll get in a bit is a dash. That will let us go through crowds of zombies a bit easier. But that's not until we head back towards the liquor store.
It's such a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Just that slight boost.
Also, this is the one Princess Wasp tasked with a little bit of RNG to it. Because these pheromones, they can spawn in a random place around this construction yard. And you can never tell which one it is until you actually start the task. It's annoying, but as long as you get a decent pattern like this one, where you can just go around in a circle, I miss that. I'm bad. Then
That just sounds awful. It being RNG.
It's RNG, but it's not necessarily bad RNG. Like, this was a pretty good pattern. We just went around the outside of the construction yard and led up to this truck, which is where we wanted to go anyway. And then we could just hop over this wall and we'll get the final out of the way Princess Wasp for this section.
Well, that routing's not terrible.
It's not awful. Here we just have to kill a few enemies, just like the mandatory Princess Wasp earlier. Just a simple case of chase them down, hit them. You could chomp on them if you want.
They really spread out.
Oh yeah, they do. But it's fine, as long as they don't run too far, which they usually do anyway, but it's okay.
Is there a way to get them to, not stun lock, but stay still, like with the initial Princess Wasp?
There isn't on this one, as far as I'm aware. It might be the same case, actually, of just spamming the dash button to confuse their AI, but I haven't tested it, so that might have to be something to test in the future when I run this again. I saw at the corner of my eye, someone's asking what's up with the shadows. I'm running this game on the lowest settings possible. One, to include stability and to hopefully prevent any crashes, because this port is chef's kiss. So the shadows are very blocky.
Yeah, we don't want the game to crash.
It's happened to me too many times before, and I can't tell you how much it does infuriate me sometimes. Also, this little task is a combo task, so we have to build up our combo meter to 100 for this particular one. So I'm gonna not grab anyone and bite them for this little part. Also, this wasp is right next to Rockpile Liquor Store, which is where our next item that we're going to collect is. So I just leave this one for last, just because it makes a little bit more sense. And with that, we are done with this Princess Wasp.
This is also the only Princess Wasp that you get in bad ending, right?
Yeah, just because the upgraded Gishu is really helpful when going through crowds of zombies. Okay, so that's our final item that we're getting, which is liquor. And now we're going to the bus depot. Or depot, I don't know how you call it, depot, depot.
Either way.
Yeah, potato, potato. So on the way to the bus depot, we have this cemetery right here. And we're just going to stop and grab this Princess Wasp quickly. This is going to be a destroy these... I can't remember what they're called. Destroy these devices, I'm going to call them. This is pretty simple. Just run in like a number 4 style pattern. If you could call it that, I guess. There is a minigun guy here, but we could just ignore him. And now we shall head back to the bus depot and get the final Princess Wasp for this first area. And then it's off to Rest Ridge. Rest Ridge. I can't talk. It's half...
West Ridge.
That's the one. It's 6:30 in the morning. I've got a little bit of a cold. So I apologize for any faux pas I may utter. But yeah, if you see just dashing through that little crowd of zombies, the upgrade we got from the combo task, it gives you a little bit of a damage boost, which is very nice. And it just helps clear the zombies out of the way a little bit easier. This is just another collecting pheromones mission, so we're just going to go in a very specific order. Jump over here.
I was just about to ask if this one was also RNG based, but it doesn't seem like it.
No. Luckily, this one isn't RNG based like the last one, but it can be annoying with the crowd of zombies around. So, hello, sir. Goodbye, sir. And just for a little bit of boost so you don't lose any momentum, you can dash off the top of the buses, and to save your stamina, you can lunge on a zombie like that. It's like a nice little bit of movement tech, and it's not too erroneous. So now, what did we come here for the bus depot for? To get a phone from a locker for Blackburn, because it has some important details about the cure for zombieism, apparently. Don't ask. Apparently, you can just bring people back from undead status now.
In fairness, they did that in Dead Rising 3.
This is true. I still don't like the idea personally. I think it's like really weird and done in a really stupid way.
The dumber thing is, all right, and let me point out, I know this is a very well-crafted game, but let me point out a plot hole here for you. So, with Dead Rising 3, they mentioned that the character there, Nick, is the cure. Yeah, he ends up leading the cure to zombieism, right? And Nick goes back to Dead Rising 1 because Dead Rising 1 had Carlitos' Planet of the Orphans, which were children from Santa Cabeza brought to the U.S. to be zombie time bombs. Correct?
This is correct.
Yes.
So the game mentions that Frank is able to become a zombie because even though he's been cured of zombieism as a disease as of Dead Rising 3, this is Santa Cabeza old, meaning he can get reinfected because it's a new strain or an old strain. Wouldn't the original strain be from Santa Cabeza because Nick is from Santa Cabeza and zombified from Santa Cabeza zombies?
Yeah. So technically. Technically, in this game, I think it is the Santa Cabeza strain.
Right, but Nick is from Santa Cabeza. He had zombieism put into him from the original.
It's Dead Rising 3, Dead Rising 4 plot. It's very confusing.
Also, it was asked, why is the game in French? French is faster as a language. Funny enough, you can try this in many different speedruns. There are language differences per game. In terms of text, you usually want Asian languages. I think the best is usually simplified Chinese. A lot of old school retro games are mainly going to have Japanese because, most games either had English or Japanese ports. But weirdly enough as well, there are some cases where Korean can be good for text. Keep in mind, this is normally text. So with spoken language, it gets a little bit different. Usually, you don't actually want to go with Japanese. A lot of speedrunners assume, Japanese must be fastest. No, that's mainly just for text. For spoken, you actually want to try European languages. More often than not, you'll find out that French is the fastest language in games. This was definitely known from Alien Isolation speedrunning, which, funny enough, for that game, a lot of runners will not play in French, but French is the fastest, even by a small amount. If you don't like French, you can also try Italian, and sometimes Spanish is also rather fast. I know Ghostwire Tokyo, European Spanish is the fastest, and then in many games, French ends up being faster.
That's all fine. I saw someone ask, where did I go to? I just went out of my way from the main way just to grab a Princess Wasp, and we are going through this little back alleyway just to go to this Princess Wasp, and we're going to essentially work our way around to the school. But for the moment, we're just going to focus on going around this area now and collecting the Princess Wasps.
I saw it scroll by, but someone else also asked why the zombies are reacting to Frank still, and that's just because the more Princess Wasps he gets, and because of Blackburn's cure, they recognize him as a person instead of a zombie right now, which is why they're aggroing on him.
That was unfortunate. That reset my combo counter. And considering this combo task, you have to get 300. not ideal.
I will say as well, and while we're regaining the combo, it's well, one, it's gonna be a combination of screams and rams, but for the, it is that's you're diving into the dudes, you're doing the dodge, and then you're also screaming. That's an accurate sentence, as strange as it sounds. But with Dead Rising 4, the plot's actually not described in a poor way, funny enough. Like, a lot of people assume, oh, Dead Rising 4 bad. No, throughout the game, you end up going in, like, a special machine that only Frank is in, which is why he gets these special powers. He's very unique that he's not normally zombified. He was in presence of, like, what's essentially, like, radioactive waste, just as a summary, since I'm not going to fully describe what the zombie machine does, essentially.
We all love the zombie machines.
Yeah, it's scientific ways of saying Frank West is a special zombie.
We kind of backtrack a little bit to this suburban area just because this is the most out of the way Princess Wasp for this area, just before the school. So we're just going to come here, grab the gadgets and destroy them by dashing through them. Because you can hit them, but dashing through them slightly faster, just because you don't stop your momentum. And it's just a little bit more fun. At least in my view.
It seems like a one-hit go when you dash through two compared to multiple hits with fisticuffs, if you will.
Oh, it is. It's very, very nice.
I definitely like the dash method here. I think like back when this was originally being routed, I just sort of spat on them because I noticed that also did the one-shot kill, but ramming is a lot better here.
Oh, for sure. And it also helps that you can dash straight through the fences as well. So you don't actually have to jump over them. Okay.
Also, as weird as it sounds, I guess Speedruns from the Crypt fun part here, I ended up routing the good ending of this game because I realized this DLC is not as bad as people make it sound. And then I want to say it got heavily, not heavily, but like it got decently rerouted by Street Texan and another runner that we mentioned named Zanga. I think in the past year or so, in fact.
No, absolutely not on my end. I just started learning this run. It's all on Street and Zanga.
There we go then.
Yeah, we went hard on this category for quite a while. Mainly bad ending, but most of bad ending routing, however you say it, it applies to good ending too. Also, this is the worst part of the run, mainly because these Evo zombies, the good old Rudolph lookalikes, they can, one, do that and interrupt your attacks and not die. And two, they can just jump all over the place and make it a nightmare for you to kill them. Like, please stop jumping, sir.
I mean, you're having a hard time, but it seems like they're at least staying clustered in such a way that you don't have to run around the gymnasium to deal with them.
Luckily so. I mean, there is one thing you can do, which is just... Stop. I want to grab you, sir. Grabbing them is insta-kill, so that's way more preferable. You can stun them briefly by roaring, which is quite nice. How dare you try and swipe at me, sir? Okay, so now we're at the big bad Evo zombie, the Queen Wasp zombie. This can be a little bit annoying if you don't get them stuck in a corner. So that's what I'm going to try and do, but there's no guarantee it'll work because, as you can see, when you hit them, they tend to go all over the place. So I'm just going to try and take my time here. Stop jumping away, please. Thank you. Okay, and with that, we have the Queen zombie. That is definitely the worst part of the run, in my opinion. Only because it can waste you a lot of time. And there is one other point later in the vineyard, which we will get to shortly, don't worry. That can lose you a lot of time. But it's a bit more consistent than that school fight, because that school fight is just get good, kill the zombies before they jump around. It's very annoying, but at least it's over with. That's the main thing. Also, at this part, we are, again, going out of our way. We could have technically gotten these before the school, but it's right here. It's right to the left of the school exit. So we'll just get these extra 2 Princess Wasps. Jump just so I can regain a little bit of stamina. because if you run out of stamina, you stumble, and that is not fun. Not fun at all. Oh, bless you.
Thanks.
This is
How many wasps are there?
there's about, I think, 12? No, 10 maybe. Also, we're supposed to follow this guy in, but you can just run through the garage door before it closes and just start wailing on him. Also, there's this guy.
That axe came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what we call an exoskeleton soldier. Not fun, but we don't have to worry about him anymore, so we could just run away, pretend he never existed. So this last one, I believe, is a survival one, if my memory is correct. No, this is a pheromones gathering one. I remember now. So this one has a weird sort of way of gathering the pheromones. This one isn't RNG. It's all in a set path, which is kind of nice. But first we'll just circle around the outside. Circle around the outside of the house, gathering the ones out here, and then we'll head back inside and just gather the ones that are inside the house. All the while trying to avoid those obscure zombies because they are a pain. If they tackle you, not fun. Not fun at all.
Yeah, it's something that can happen in school, but it's just like the normal angry zombies, not the obscurest ones.
Yeah, and a little bit later on in the lab, it's they can annoyingly tackle you there, where it's not so much of a big deal because that section is kind of an auto-scroller. But if you're right next to one of the things you have to trigger during that section... Okay, these bushes are solid. Thanks, Frank. If you're next to one of the things you have to trigger, then unfortunately they can knock you down and prevent you from triggering it, thus losing you time, even though it's technically an auto-scroller. Fun times. We are also heading towards Tom's farm, which is I wouldn't say a major set piece in the main story. I think there is 3, maybe
Not really.
2, maybe 3 times you go there. But on the way, we are going to pick up our final Princess Wasp for the run. And once we pick this one up, that will enable us to get the true ending, or the good ending, of Frank Rising. And how can you tell if you got the good ending? Oh, at the final cutscene, it's a bit different. I'll explain when we get there.
As well, in case you need like a checklist, you're doing this casually and you have all the time there, the game will kind of give you this, hey, are you sure you want to go here? You don't have everything yet. And that's just be your hint, like, oh, maybe I should look around a little bit more before I go to the finale.
Yeah, it's pretty lenient, which is quite nice. I'm also going to save my combo for the enemies that are up here, just because they have a fire sword and an ice sword, which is always fun. So I'll get one of them and then just wail on the other one normally. It looks like I did miss one in the shelter, but that's fine. We go back out the normal way from the shelter anyway. So we can just get him on the way back. Where are you?
About to make a really bad Game of Thrones pun.
I'll go ahead if you want to.
Gonna ask if that battle is a song of fire and ice.
Oh. You know, I've just been assaulted with puns ever since the show started. I've been hearing them all since Parasite Eve began.
Look, there's
you know what? I got one for you.
I'm able to crack puns.
I have one for you. Instead of a journalist, do you know what this franchise would be called if Frank West was a baker?
What?
Enlighten me.
Bread Rising.
I'm gonna not jot that down in my pun notebook later. Thank you very much, Ek.
No problem.
Well, it's because of all that bread he just chokes on during the first game.
Have you the Dead Rising 1 run? You have to look at the way he like throats those baguettes. He really slams them down. That's gonna be me on Christmas Day, but with deviled eggs. I am ready for them. I get excited for deviled eggs, man. It's the time of year.
I'm excited for the pigs in blankets, to be fair, Pigs in blankets are stuffing, best day of Christmas dinner. Let's be honest.
I appreciate chat booing my pun. Thank you.
Also, shout outs to Chris Naga being mentioned during this run for the puns, because he kept doing them during the last run.
Good. Good. Let the pun legacy live on forever.
It sure has been a punderful night. Thanks. Now we've met up with Hammond at Tom's farm. She gives us a little bit of, okay, we're going to escape. Wait, where's Blackburn? And now we're being ambushed by Obscurus. Gee, I wonder who sent them.
Blackburn is like the worst throughout this entire game.
She's okay. Like, in a cure for zombieism, she does help. But she is also kind of a pain saying, no, we need to study you first.
She only helps because you threatened to murder her.
Yeah. Don't take that away from this game, kids. Threatening will not get you everywhere in life.
Okay. So, real quick question. I thought they already had a cure for zombieism.
They needed
that
a new
already
cure.
existed. Okay.
The whole plot, the way the game forms it is that this strain of zombieism is a new strain from an old strain because, it's Santa Cabeza, so now it's not Willamette, it's different. But I think they forgot that the original strain was Santa Cabeza that led to this, that led to everything, so it's like, I guess it's different, but it's not, but it's different, but it's... That's also the problem, because the strain's also based on the original zombie outbreak, because of the whole plot of Dead Rising 1 and 3.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Also,
more of
big
just a Dead
shout
Rising
out...
4 issue.
Oh, sorry. Has that gone off? Please kill them.
It's finicky. It's about to.
Yeah.
It should.
That, Okay. Okay, so that strat...
There it is.
That strat was found by Zanga, and big shout out to Zanga. Very good Frank Rising runner. I love you, Zanga. Please come back and run this again. I miss your presence. But
Just get world record.
yeah, it's that easy. All we do is we aim at a specific Obscurus soldier, because they're by some vehicles, and as soon as the vomit explodes, as long as they don't move too far away from the vehicles, all of the vehicles around them should explode and kill all of them. Hence, we can just start running back to the barn. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and sometimes you have to run back to kill them manually. But if you can get it off, it is a fun little just time save, and I'm always appreciative for it.
It's one of those moments where it's the moment in The Dark Knight where the Joker is about to blow up the hospital, but it's not blowing up yet, and then it explodes. Like, that's what doing this strat is like.
We're all full of references here tonight, folks. Also, to give you an idea of the time save that Tom's Farm can give you and the wasp screen if you do it right, I was 27 seconds behind. I've got my life split up to, just for reference, because I like to stroke my own ego when it comes to my own speedruns. I was 27 seconds behind coming out of the wasp screen fight, and just from Tom's fight, I've caught up. I am now minus 0 seconds, so caught up pretty well. Also,
ooh, yeah, it's even split. It's
and then you drop the stamina.
Yeah. But to be fair, if you do this part well, you can make up some time, maybe? Who knows? Also, we actually have to deal with pyro guys here. Pyro guys are annoying. You can fast kill them if you're lucky by roaring and then hitting their tanks. Frank? No, don't grab me.
Yeah, that camera angle and like the way that he just whips those swings is frustrating.
So, if you manage to get them down and then you tap B, you can, if you're lucky, kill them in one. But sometimes it'll take 2 B actions on the downed pyro. It's very confusing, but it's fine. Also here, vomiting on the Gatling gun guy, mainly because he has an explosive on him and it'll just kill him after a little while, which is quite nice. And we're just going to go around the outside, deal with the obscure soldiers that are scattered around the vineyard.
Is this way faster than going through the left side? Because I noticed that you went right side instead of left. Or does it not matter?
I don't think it matters too much. I just go to the right side out of habit now because I mostly watch Zanga do it, and he often did this. I was like, you know what? Let's just conform. Let's just make it so it's a uniform route for everyone.
The enemy pathing, or right for the 3 kills you have to get?
So he's going around and getting all the soldiers, right? So like, you can either go left or right. I was just curious as to like which way was faster, but it seems like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter too much, which is quite nice. So you can pretty much do it at your own leisure. Also, avoid these guys; they will knock you down. And also chomp on the shield guys just to save a little bit of time, because we don't like dealing with them.
You get multiple chomps by doing Princess Wasp?
Yes. If you get the Princess Wasp, you do get an extra chomp most of the time, which is quite nice. It definitely helps in set pieces like this vineyard. I think it depends on your combo, though. I think you have to build it up enough just to actually have 2 charges. Don't jump into the light, Frank. Thank you. And of course, there are shield guys here, so chomp chomp. It's also super helpful because this part will usually drain your health like no tomorrow. What are you doing here? These pyro guys are the worst. Okay. I'm going to say it. I've never seen that happen before. Literally knocking him down, going to do the B prompt, and then him just whacking us away. Literally never seen it happen before. That's pretty dumb, but hey-oh. Dead Rising 4, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so about to, I know this isn't, I'm not sure if this is considered a marathon run, but you know it's a marathon run when that phrase gets said.
Hey, I'm just saying, this is the first time I've had on a Dead Rising game that someone else has ran where I'm not surprised at the tech being done.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Thanks, I'm doing my best. Also, thank God that
the last time it happened, I literally had a record of the game at the time.
Oh wow, those stairs, I didn't know they existed.
I did it!
Okay, unfortunately that wasn't a twofer. And unfortunately, as you can probably see, I'm taking my time to hit him from behind because it's very finicky, and sometimes it does give you the B prompt straight away. But when the pyros usually get up from the B prompts, you can hit their tank straight away again, and it will often down them if you can get it in the right position. And it's just very nice because then you can immediately just kill them after that. Also,
I'm probably...
Oh, sorry, I was just saying, to give you an idea of how much time that can lose you, by the way, I'm now 30 seconds behind on my splits.
Oh, I was just about to hype you up and be like, well, I mean, you didn't do terrible with the pyros you had to handle in this section. 30 seconds behind, never mind.
Yeah, it happens, though, it happens. Does this game just have awful camera controls? It has standard camera controls, but if you're not touching the control stick at all to move the camera and you're attacking, then yes, the camera's awful. To be fair, though, this game isn't awful on mouse and keyboard. So if you can use a mouse too, then the camera's a little bit better. But I'd still recommend controller just for comfort. But that's just me. Everyone's feel free to do their own control input method, as long as it's comfy for you. That's the main thing. Also, we're now in the auto-scroller part, the lab. Well, pseudo-auto-scroller. We still have to go around and trigger some certain events. Also, there's a floating gun here. Literally not attached to anything.
Is that always there?
Yeah, that's always there. And if you bump into it, it falls. It's funny.
Game good.
So the first thing we had to do was incubate the queen wasp, and now we're going to synthesize an aerosol. This is all to cure Frank of his zombies, and so we have to go through the motions. So it's going to be incubate, aerosol, release the queen wasp, I think. I can't remember the exact steps. Install solenoids, reroute the power, vent the gas, activate the power, and then enter the chamber. And entering the chamber will be time. That's not for another 4 or 5 minutes at this point.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. So as long as you know where to go and when to go there, this part shouldn't be too awful, but it's also a nice little thing just to keep up your combo here. Because if you unfortunately get tackled by any zombies or just hit too much, it can be slightly dangerous. Like, as you can see, the feral and the Evo zombies are spawning in now. So we're just going to chomp.
Instead of fantastic, he should say chomptastic.
Oh, for sure. And just to have a little bit of relief, it's best to just chomp the Evo zombies and the fresh soldier zombies. Just so they're not as annoying, but it is what it is. If they get you, it's not the worst thing, as long as you're not low on health. Also, that zombie is just oh, I thought they were just frozen. Lamau. I went to the wrong area. It happens. It's usually either the power or the vent I get mixed up, just because they're in similar locations and they both have control panels. That's literally all it takes for me to get confused on placement of triggers. You can die, sir. And you can also die, Rudolph. On Dancer, on Prancer, on Donna, on Blitzen, Comet, and Vixen. And the other reindeer I forgot.
Rudolph?
Cupid.
I thought I already said Rudolph. I don't know, my memory's going. I'm getting old.
Although you are going through this section pretty cleanly.
Yeah. It's kind of a good thing I realized that I was in the wrong spot for the power one. Otherwise, that would have just been wasted seconds, but it's fine. We don't actually have to be at the power activation thing, which is right over here, for a little bit, because we're hearing over the radio Hammond and the other survivors trying to escape. They're not doing a decent job at the moment, but they're doing the best they can. Okay, now we activate this. This is the final trigger. And time will be coming up. Time will be coming up when we enter the chamber door. Which will open in about 40 seconds, maybe. Oh, Cupid, thank you, Torsui. I think I said your name right. I knew I was missing a reindeer. So this part is just very chill overall. It's not awful. It's just about health management, making sure you're in the right place. Definitely a lot more use in this area than in the main story, in which you come in here, you're told to survive, and you literally stand in this corner, only killing the occasional zombie. And for the most part, the zombies won't actually bother you.
And then you just like can leave.
Yeah, it's pretty
stupid.
stupid.
On the table.
And time is coming up now.
And time.
Yeah, there's something about Dead Rising games and needing to have like auto scroller sections in it.
So yeah, Frank has turned back into a human now. He's no longer the zombie man, or in French, le zombie man. I don't know the French for man. I'm sorry. Sorry to any French viewers.
GG's, dude.
Thank you very much. And the way to confirm that we had the good ending is if we see this cutscene and all the survivors and Hammond are in the chopper with us, then we've done it. We got all the Princess Ross. We didn't miss anything. It's all good. And there we go.
The only real difference, I think, is just, do you escape with Blackburn, or do you get, like, all the people out? They just kind of wanted, like, oh, hey, remember those characters? Okay, we saved them. See, we care a little bit about the characters. And you get a fist bump. That's the good ending. Everything else is the exact same between the two.
Hammond's obviously a PewDiePie viewer. The old PewDiePie viewer. She likes a bro fist. But, yes. The difference is, in the bad ending, you do escape with just Blackburn, and you're both looking very morose in the helicopter because you know your friends are dead. Which is a real bummer, so I can understand why. Oh, and also it just kicks you back to the main menu straight after, which is fair enough.
All right, GG. Good run to be had. Really quick, Streetback Guy, do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to give? And as well, if people wanted to check you out, where can they find you?
Oh, thank you very much. If you enjoyed that and you like people who stream occasionally but not all the time because they work full time and it's annoying, but when they do, it's entertaining sometimes. You can find me on twitch.tv/streetbagguy, and I would also like to give a massive shout out firstly to Egg for laying the foundation for that run, Zanga for helping to root bad ending, which in turn helps with good ending, and Tex for commentating with me and just being an overall chill bro, keeping me sane during this run, and also the Dead Rising community as a whole. We're very friendly, and if you are interested in learning any Dead Rising game at all, we're very happy to help. And once again, thank you for having me on. Yeah,
it was good stuff. So I do want to say thank you both again for being here and for doing the run. And if you have not checked them out yet, definitely feel free to check out Streetback Guy's channel if you want more Dead Rising based content.